Hello and welcome to my channel, The Danish Readaholic. Today I'm talking about some of the 2022 releases that I am really excited about. Alright, so I do actually have quite a long list, but I have decided to pick 5 of the books that I am most excited for. And those 5, I will tell you the summary, I will let you know what I think, I don't know, I'll let you know more about what it's about, I think. And then the rest of the books on my list, I will just, briefly tell a little bit about what I know. And also, of course, give you dates on everything. So I think without further ado, let's get started because we do have quite a long list to go through. I will read you the summaries on my phone, so I'm sorry for looking down when I read. First up, we have this stunning book. Can we just talk about the cover? I am so excited, and obviously the cover drew me in and I was like, okay, I need to know what this book is about. This is Blood Cyan, or at least that's how I would pronounce it. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, but Blood Cyan by Deborah Ballet. So let me tell you what this is about.
This is what they deserve. They wanted me to be a monster. I will be the worst monster they ever created. 15-year-old Lone can incinerate an enemy at will. She's a Cyan, a descendant of the ancient Orisha gods. Under the Lucis' brutal rule, her identity means her death if her power are discovered. But when she is forcibly conscripted into the Lucis army on her 15th birthday, Sloane sees a new opportunity to overcome the bloody challenges of Lucis training and destroy them from within. Sloane rises through the ranks and gains strength, but in doing so, risks something greater, losing herself entirely and becoming the very monster that she abhors.
I am so excited for this book. This sounds so great. The whole I'm a monster. I'm the monster they made me. I'm here for it. And also her powers with she can incinerate an enemy at will. Oh my god. But I feel like it gives me kind of an Ember in the Ashes vibes, with Hiiya going undercover. Excuse me. But yeah, with Hiiya going undercover with the enemy, I'm just really excited for this one. I'm hoping that we get it in a fairy loot, but I am not sure. But I'm gonna wait a little bit to see if we might get it, because I don't want to buy it and then we get it. So this one will be released on the 18th of March. So soon, you guys. So the next one that we have is this Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi. Again, the cover drew me in. Can we talk about it? It gives me kind of these Violent Delights vibes with the cover, but just, completely different color. And that was what drew me in, and then I read a little bit about it. So are you ready for this? Are you ready?
To all the world, Elise is a disposable servant, not the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom, forced to hide in plain sight. The Crown Prince Cameron has heard the prophecies foretelling the death of his king, but he could never have imagined that the servant girl, with the strange eyes, the girl he can't put out of his mind, would one day soon uproot his kingdom and the world.
I am so intrigued. I have this feeling that it would be lovers to enemies to lovers or something like that. Oh my god, this just sounds so great. I like the whole hidden heir thing. I'm in doubt as to whether she knows it herself that she's the heir, but from what I gather, I think she does, which I think is something that we don't see a lot, but I am here for it. I am so intrigued, and I think that this will be a duology, and I am so excited. Again, this is one that I'm hoping that we could get in a fairy loot. This will be released on the 1st of February, so that's even sooner, you guys, and I am just, no words. I have no words. Next up, we have Together We Burn by Isabel Ibanez. This one sounded really intriguing, and this is one that I remember, not by heart. I'm still gonna read it to you because I don't remember by heart. But there is something about a flamingo dancer and a dragon, I don't want to say slayer, but kind of with the whole, I don't know what the name is, but I get Spain or Rome vibes, when they fight in these big arenas with a lion or a bull, whatever. But this is with dragons, and I was just so intrigued by this. So let me just read you what it's about, and you can make your own decision, but I am so hyped for this one.
An ancient city plagued by dragons, a flamingo dancer determined to save her ancestral home, a dragon hunter refusing to teach her his ways. They don't want each other, but they need each other, and without him, her world will burn.
Already here, I'm just in love. Because, like, enemies to lovers, I can feel it.
18-year-old Cirilla Silvita is a talented flamenco dancer and the daughter of the most famous Dragonador in Hispalia. People come for miles to see him fight in their arena, which will one day be hers. But disaster strikes during their 500th anniversary show, and in the carnage, Cirilla's father is horribly injured. Facing punishment from the Dragon Guild, Cirilla must keep the arena, her ancestral home and inheritance, safe from their greedy hands. She has no choice but to take her father's place as the next Dragonador, when the infuriating, handsome dragon hunter Arudo Diaz de Montserrat withholds his help. She refuses to take no for an answer. But even if he agrees, there's someone out to ruin the Salvador family, and Cirilla will have to do whatever it takes in order to prevent that.
That just sounds so intriguing, and again, enemies to lovers, I'm here for it. I like the whole dragon thing and the whole Spanish vibes. Like, I feel like this takes place in Spain and then just with dragons, and I'm just here for it. And the whole flamenco dancer, I am so excited to see how big a part that plays in the story, because it must play a big part since it's mentioned. Otherwise, I feel like it would be kind of like irrelevant. So I am really, really excited, and again, if we could get it in a fairy loot, I wouldn't be mad at it. This one will be released on the 31st of May. Next up, we have The Dream Runners, which I am also really excited about. This is by Sveta Thakra, who also wrote Star Daughter. I haven't read it yet, but I will. I will eventually. But this one sounds like so up my alley, and also kind of an interesting concept that I haven't heard about before. Let me read to you what this is about.
7 years ago, Tanri was spirited away to the subterranean realm of Nagaluk, where she joined the ranks of the Dream Runners. Human children, freed of all memory and emotion, charged with harvesting mortal dreams for the consumption of the Naga court. Venkat knows a different side of the Nagaluk. An apprentice to an influential Lord Nayan, he shapes the Dream Runner's wares into the kingdom's most tantalizing commodity. And Nayan has larger plans for these mortal dreams. With a dreamsmith of Venkat's talent, he believes he can use them to end a war between Nagas and their ancient foe, the Garudas. But when one of Tanvi's dream harvest goes awry, she begins to remember her life on Earth. Panicked and confused, she turns to the one mortal in Nagaluk who can help, Venkat. And as they search for answers, a terrifying truth begins to take shape. One that could turn Naga's realm of dreams into a land of waking nightmares.
I love that so much. I like the whole element with like it being humans kind of stolen and then robbed of their humanity, and then that something happens that she starts to remember that she was human and start to remember all the memories that she had. I am really, really intrigued about this, and I don't think that I have seen anything like this before. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't heard of any, and I am kind of really excited to see if this is as great as I think it might be. This one will be released on the 28th of June, so we still have a little wait. Again, I'm hoping this could be in a fairy loot, but we'll never know. Or, well, we will eventually. I am really excited to hear about this. I'm not really sure if this will have any of the tropes that I normally go for. I'm pretty sure it won't have enemies to lovers, but there's just something about it that really intrigues me, and let's see what we think once we get there. The final book I'm going to talk about, like, in depth, before I just mention the rest of the books, is called Murder for the Modern Girl, and it looks like this. Honestly, the cover drew me in. Like, the cover with the, like, 1920s vibe, I am here for it. I think this is the second 1920s book I have on my list, or, like, vibe, 1920s vibe list one? 1920s vibe book. Second one I have on the list. This one is by Kendall Culper, and I, like, when I saw it, I was like, okay, I am hoping that this has, like, some kind of fantastical element, like, some kind of fantasy element to it, so that, I will be more prone to reading it. And let me tell you, I was not disappointed. A
ravishing young mind reader stalks the street at night in kitten heels, prowling for men to murder. A soft-spoken genius toils away in the city morgue, desperate to unearth the science behind his gift for shape-shifting. It's a match made in 1928 Chicago, where gangsters run City Hall, jazz fills the air, and every good girl's purse conceals a flask. Until now, 18-year-old Ruby's penchant for poison has been a secret. No one knows that she uses her mind-reading abilities to target men who prey on vulnerable women, men who escape the clutches of Chicago justice. When she meets a brilliant boy working at the morgue, his knack for forensic detail threatens to uncover her dark hobby. Even more unfortunately, sharp, independent Ruby has fallen in love with him. Waltzing between a supernaturally enchanted romance, the battle to take down a gentleman's club, and loyal friendship worth their weight in diamonds, Ruby brings fire and charm to every spectacular page of murder for the modern girl.
Like, this is so different from what I normally read, but I am honestly so excited for this. The whole 1920s, you know what, it gets me every time. Like, one of my favorite movies are Chicago, and I'm just, like, this gives me life, and I am just, I want it. I want to read it so badly. Now, this one will be released on the 24th of May, and I cannot wait. And the whole, like, she's a mind reader, and she's, like, preying on abusers. I'm here for it. She sounds like the queen. She sounds like a queen. So those were the books that I wanted to talk in depth about. Next up, I just quickly want to mention some books that I'm excited for and maybe a little bit as to why. First up, we have one that might be a little bit strange, and I don't know why I keep adding contemporaries to my list, but we have Turning by Joy L. Smith. This follows, I believe, a ballerina who is in like an accident or something, and something happens so that she can't perform. Then I think she meets a girl who was supposed to be like a gymnast, but then she also had an accident. I think it's something to do with that. I really love ballet, and I like the whole ballerina scene, so I think this is actually a contemporary that I could get behind. We'll see. Next up, we have The Kindred by Alicia Dow. I don't remember much about what this is about, but it has something to do with like galactic kingdom. So I think it's more like outer space, but still in a fantasy-esque vibe, which is very interesting because as far as I could read from the blurb, it is not sci-fi in the sense of mechanics and spaceships and everything. It is sci-fi but with fantasy elements, so like sci-fi with sword fighting. And this one will be released on the 4th of January. I forgot to tell you when Turning would be released. Turning will be released on the 1st of March. Next one, I can't tell you anything about really. We have an untitled Jasmine novel with no cover. It is written by Alexandra Monir, who I don't know. It is a part of the Queen's Council series, and I know I said that I would read the sequel and then determine if I want to continue, but it is a Jasmine novel, and I'm actually I really like that story, so I might read it regardless. So this is basically where we follow what happens after the Disney movie. So the first one was following Belle, and I didn't like it. I think we all know that. Rebel Rose, not for me. The next one is following Mulan. I haven't read it yet, and I think I will like it more. And then the third one will be following Jasmine, and we don't know anything about it yet, but I am excited. We don't even have a release date. All we have is that it will be released in 2022, but I guess that is also subject to change because of current situations. Also have the next Twisted Tales, which is actually number 13, which is insane. But the next one will be following Tiana, and it's called Almost There. I'm so excited. Like the New Orleans vibes, I am here for it. So I'm definitely going to read that book. I'm so excited. And it is written by Farah Rockon. And once again, we don't have a specific release date. We only have 2022. And again, I guess that is subject to change. Next up, we have A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Fassel. And this one sounds so strange, but in the best way possible. It's a duology pitched as King Arthur meets Peaky Blinders with vampires, which sounds strange, but I'm here for it. It's basically about this group of outcasts who has to save a tea room. I don't know, but I'm here for it, and I'm so excited. We don't have a cover for this yet, but honestly, I'm excited to see. The release date is the 8th of November, and honestly, I'm so excited. It sounds so strange to me, but in the best way possible, so we'll see. Next up, we have Dauntless, which I believe is actually an LGBTQ plus fantasy setting, or fantasy in like a jungle, in like a Filipino jungle setting. All I know is that it's Filipino inspired, and it is by Elisa A. Bonin. The cover is stunning. It is definitely giving me graphic novel vibes. I don't know why, but it looks graphic novel-ish. But you know what? I'm excited to see what this is about. It looks cool, and I'm excited. It will be released on the 19th of July. Over and out. Next up we have another 1920s inspired book, which is called Bright Ruined Things. And again, can we talk about the cover and the vibes that we get? Like, stunning. This is about Samantha Coho. I don't know what this is about. I think it is something to do with like rivalry families, like maybe a little bit of like a Romeo and Juliet retelling. I really don't know. It's probably more Great Gatsby, but then with magic, and I'm here for it. I can't really tell you too much about it because I don't know. Obviously, I will leave links to everything down below so that you can check it out for yourself. This one will be released on the 15th of February, and so excited. Next up we have Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. This one is about monsters. I'm pretty sure that this has something to do with maybe vampires, maybe like some of the classical monsters, but I'm really not sure. I also think that it is more like an urban fantasy or maybe like magical realism, so it takes place in the real world but then with magical elements. It is the first book in a trilogy about monster hunters and monster slayers, so maybe like a little bit Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm not sure. It looks really cool. And this will be released on the 22nd of February. I like a good monster story from time to time, so. Next up we have The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. And can we look at this cover? So stunning. It is basically where they're in this village and then they have to sacrifice this one person to the sea to become like the sea god's bride. And they are supposed to sacrifice our main character's brother's girlfriend. But because that the MC's brother wants to go with her and then sacrifice himself as well, our MC ends up actually doing the sacrifice herself. I feel like that is just really intriguing, and I am excited to see what else we learn about their story. This will be released on the 22nd of February as well. Next up we have A Forgery of Roses, and I couldn't really tell you what this was about. I put it on my list for some reason, but I don't remember why. It is by Jessica S. Olsen. Like, I think all I read from the summary to know that this was something I wanted to read was Myra Whitlock has a gift, one many would kill for. And then it has something to do with painting. Like, our main character is like an artist, and then she can paint people how they want to be seen, and then that is what will happen. That is really intriguing to me. This will be released on the 29th of March. Next up we have Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen. This is the first in like an untitled duology. This basically says that we are gonna be following like a morally grey witch and a cursed prince. That was enough. And we basically follow this, I guess she's the witch called Violet, and she is at court and she's basically lying to everybody and telling these prophecies, and the prince knows that. He knows that she's lying, and so I guess it's kind of enemies to lovers. I'm hoping that it will be, and you know what, it sounds interesting to me. This will be released on the 26th of July. Next up we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lun Tan. This is a fantasy inspired by the legend of the Moon Goddess from Chinese mythology, I'm guessing, and like follows a young woman's quest to free her mother or something along those lines. It is not the one that I'm most excited for, but there's definitely some elements to this that I find intriguing, and the whole moon goddess, I want to know what that is about, and obviously any kind of magical element, and I'm just kind of here for it. So this was also really intriguing to me. And can we look at the cover? Like, I love that cover, it's so stunning. This will be released on the 11th of January, so really soon, guys, really soon. Next up we have The City of Dusk, which is by Tara Sim. By Tara Sim. This is like a world with shadow and bone magic, and I am intrigued. Like, bone magic, what is that about? And also shadow magic, like I kind of feel like it's very dark magics that are at play here, and I just find that really intriguing, so obviously I'm excited for this. This will be released on the 22nd of March, so you know what, soon. Then we have The Night Render by Jodie Meadows. So like all it says here is like kingdoms will fall, gods will die, and hearts will be broken, and I feel like that is enough. and I'm excited to see what this is about. This will be released on the 11th of January, so again, very soon. Next up, we have Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, which is also one that I'm really excited about. This is by Shay Earnshaw, and this is like a Nightmare Before Christmas retelling where we follow Sally after her and Jack kind of have their happily ever after, and then it's kind of like, but did they have a happily ever after, and will Sally be like the Pumpkin Queen? Just really excited, and I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I watch it like religiously, like twice a year, one for like Halloween, one for Christmas, and you know, I'm so excited. This one will be released on the 5th of July, and I am here for it. We have 3 left. First up, we have next, we have The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder, which is like Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones. I believe that it's also LGBTQ+, but I am not sure. But we basically follow like a treasure hunter and a warrior, and I think they have to go on this quest maybe to find something. But it just looks so intriguing, and the character design on the cover, I'm here for it. It's just stunning. This one will also be released on the 11th of January. Next up, we have Foul Lady Fortune, which is by Chloe Gong. And this will be her next series, and it will be following one of the characters from These Violent Delights. I don't know which one, and we don't really know anything about the book yet, but I am still excited because it's Chloe Gong, and if it takes place in the same universe following one of the characters, I'm just here for it. As of right now, we only have the year to go for, so it will be released in 2022, but we don't know when. And that could, again, as I've said a couple times, be subject to change. The final one we have here is The Godborn and the King. I haven't even read the 3rd one yet, but I am so excited for this one. And can we just look at the cover? Like, look at that. It is just stunning. Since it is the 4th one in a series, it's by Caitlin Davis, by the way. But since it is the fourth one in a series, I'm not going to tell you what it's about. In the first one, we follow Lyanna, Rafe, Sander, and Cassie in this world where everyone is like a bird. It is just such a good series, and I'm so glad that I decided to pick it up, and honestly, I am just so excited for the 4th one. I have now been rambling for so long, so now I'm just gonna say thank you so much for watching. Please tell me which new releases you're excited about. Thank you so much for watching. I've already said that. If you like this video, please hit the like icon, and if you want to see more of my bookish content, then please hit subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And until I see you next time, bye!